What is the stupidest thing that you were tricked into believing was true? When I was a little kid, 4, 5 years old, we visited an old ranch house from the turn of the last century that belonged to some of our extended family. On the property there was an old blacksmithing outbuilding that me and my older half-brother liked to explore. In the building there was a giant bowl of fine black sand that smelled like clean dirt after a light rain. What purpose the black sand served had been lost to time, but that didn't stop my brother from explaining to me what it really was. What the black sand really was, he explained, were the remains of a black sand monster that 100 years ago terrorized the children of Priest Valley. Being made of black sand as dark as midnight, it could move through the shadows and swallow children whole and leave no trace that they had ever existed. Several little boys disappeared this one summer and nothing was ever left behind except a small pile of dark, black sand. But my great-grandfather and his brothers discovered a secret ritual that banished the black sand monster to a special metal bowl that kept the black sand monster in his daytime sand form, and this was that bowl. But because you cannot actually end a black sand monster, the black sand only appeared as dead. For if the black sand merely tasted the flesh of a little boy, that would be enough to give it just enough life force to travel 30 or 40 yards. Why? Just enough to get to the house from here and eat one last little boy so it could live again. And I, who had my hands buried deep inside the black sand at this point and marveling at the smooth, fine flowing sand between my fingers, freaked the F out and bolted to my mother, who calmly and rationally explained that there is no such thing as the black sand monster and that my brother had made it all up and not to worry. It was then that my older half-sister let me know that my mother was lying to me so I didn't get scared, and that the black and monster was very much real, but that he probably wouldn't come to life that very night, eat me whole and leave nothing behind but a small pile of fine, black sand. And so I had the worst nightmares of my entire life that night and every night for the week we stayed at the ranch house. And as a bonus, my brother and sister thought it would be hilarious to hide black sand in my little backpack that I brought home that had all my toys and games in it. So, yes, for the better part of about the next 6, 7 years I would have regular nightmares that the black sand monster, though very weakened to be sure, would come to life, eat me, leave a small amount of sand behind, and then go on a slaughtering spree of little boys in our tiny little town.